Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I have got questions for you. What opens with us being reminded that Mr. Jermaine was upgraded from understudy to lead? And what closes with us learning that once again, Deatra has been downgraded from part of the group to outsider? If you guessed or read on the thumbnail or the title, your husband is cheating on us. Episode 4, woo, of season 1. We don't know if it'll be a second season, y'all. I had the windows open and something got on me. Green bug. I killed it. Your husband is cheating on us. Episode 4, I guess season 1. Walk it out. You're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video or jumping on live. Hi. And sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. So did anybody figure out what won? Why they calling it a premiere when we 4 episodes in? I don't understand. Thank you. I appreciate you, Yapo. I don't understand, but I'm here. Hey, Aviator 80, how you doing? So, okay, so let's jump in. I don't know if you know where we left off because it's been what, a month or 2 months since we were here together, but we'll just jump in. It's the Chitlin circuit, so we ain't got to get no background. We just gonna jump in. So Jermaine has been upgraded from understudy to lead. The producer or director, I think he's the producer and the director, is like, urban theater or urban theater, I guess that's the proper name instead of the Chitlin circuit, switches like that. And I need Jermaine to switch like that. And Jermaine seemed like he a little bit slow on the uptake, at least on the TV. He does not seem like he is ready and prepared for the role. And I've met people like that who seem like he came in understudy, he was just gonna ride it out. He seemed like he don't really necessarily want to be the lead, and he hoping that something else will come in and he can just be the understudy. He don't want to be who in the theater doesn't want to be the star. I think even though he's talented, he might be a little insecure. And I guess everybody, and theater people can be, but step it up, brother, step it up. So we see Diva D with her daughter. She's going to New Jersey to see her parents, her daughter's grandparents. They chat about Leah, and Leah, remember, Leah and Diva D are both in the theater. They both share the same baby daddy. So Diva D has a daughter by this man. Leah has a son by this man. Diva D and Leah do not get along very well. So they chat about Leah in the context of maintaining the relationship because they are family, in a way, family connected through their children, even though Diva D is back to feeling ostracized by the group and being an outsider. I don't know why I'm rooting for Diva D. I don't know if it's because she's the dark skinned one. I don't know. I'm rooting for her. We see Leah on the phone with her son, who is the sibling of Diva D's daughter, Diamond. And Tony is the daddy. And he is part of Diamond's life. He did not want to be part of Diamond's life. His plan was to be, according to Diva D, the daddy was like, well, once she gets to be 18, I'll be a part of her life, and then that way I won't have to deal with her mom. So that was his brilliant plan, which did tell me something, because that tells me that he was really, if he was in a relationship with Diva D and not just screwing around with her, there was some major breakdown for him to not want to deal with her, to avoid dealing with his child so that he wouldn't deal with her. And it doesn't sound like a good plan. It sounds like he might have like some immaturity issues, because I just don't think it's a good idea to like let your child grow up and you don't establish a relationship with them until they grown. Who does that? To whom did that sound like a good plan? So anyway, so we talk about that, and now the daughter does have a relationship with her father. I don't know if it started when she was 18 or not, or no, I don't know. So we see Jermaine and the white woman understudy, Kristen, they're running lines, but he's like, I'm just so sleepy. And during his interview, he talking about how he dreaming about this and dreaming about that, and then oh, it's just Kristen. He really acts like he doesn't want to be bothered. Is he act, or does he really not want to be bothered? He's got the leading man role. Step up, sir. Step up. Kristen is like, Jermaine refuses to learn his lines. He is so talented, but no one is so talented that they don't need to learn their lines. And I agree 100%. It is never any fun to work with people who don't know their lines and think that they're just going to get up there and improvise. If it's an improvisational situation and we all improvise, and that's one thing, but if we all learn the lines and we on script and we looking for cues, or we're off script and we're looking for cues, and you out here just winging it, it's not fair. It's not fair to your colleagues, sir. Diva D's, we're at Diva D's parents' house. And I love seeing the throwback photos of Diva D when she was younger. We find out that she was number 5 on the Billboard charts. I don't know much about music, but I was like, oh my gosh, that seems impressive. That seems like a big deal. When you watch that TV show Unsung, it's like all of these people you never heard of who had these big accomplishments, or maybe they not big, I don't know, but they sound big to me. And seeing her album cover, and she had her daughter stand in front of it like, oh, you look just like me, and it was sweet. She says that she got an advance when her album was called Sweet Talk. When her album was released, and she was able to move her parents out of the projects and to build them a house. And I think that she and her daughter basically lived in that house as well, because she said something like her daughter lived in that house until she was 22. I was really excited to hear that as well, because I kind of feel like it's nice to hear she got an advance and her family is still able to benefit from those resources. It's not like, yeah, I got a advance and I have nothing to show for it. Her mom is pretty encouraging. She's encouraging her. She's like, you special. There's only one Deatra. Hey, brother Danubian. There's only one D. And, you stay focused. Like, she encouraging her baby as well. She should. But Diva D she got challenges. Kristen, and I don't know what her issues are like deep inside, but she's good TV. We see Kristen is moving in the house where all of the actors are living, and Leah is telling Tandy about the Kristen move, that she's moving downstairs to Genuine's old room. And Tandy is like, how embarrassing that someone doesn't want to live with you. And I'm kind of like, shoot, I like to have my own space. Salt and pepper, yay. I love to have my own space, so I'd be like, bye. Or I'd already moved down to the other room, like, where I can spread out and be free and not have to be, respectful of another person. So Kristen is like, she's like that drip, drop, drip, drop, drop. Basically, she's saying she's annoying, that Diva D is annoying. So that's why she's moving. We see J.D. Lawrence, the director, the producer. He's at the house for a meeting, and there's just total silence. The way it's edited, the people are just sitting there. They look real, glum and gloominess. Diva D looks at Leah next to her in the looks at Leah, and then in the interview, she's like, is she sitting next to me? And then the group talks about expectations, like what each of the actors expects from the producer, what the producer expects from him. Then they do a run through. Some of it is looking good. I think some of this stuff is edited just for drama. So we're like, oh my gosh, is the show gonna be any good? But when they were rehearsing, they a month out, they were I was like, they put them on stage now. I mean, not exactly, but they don't sound, for a month out, they sound good. So that was nice. JD says that he feels very good about the women, but he is concerned about Jermaine. Kristen is like, seeing Jermaine with Diva D, like Jermaine looks like a little boy and she's grown, and it just looks wrong. Now what happens is they're rehearsing in a small room. A small room is totally different from the stage. For the most part, when the audience sees a show from the stage, it's almost symbolic. You can't, so like you can have like a grown woman playing, if the boy, if he can man up in his acting, he can play opposite her. But if he's like, being like, timid about it, it's not gonna work. But if he just take it and do it. That can work on stage because most of the people are barely going to be able to see him anyway. They're just going to see body language, hear the voice, and feel the vibration, the intonation, all of that. So, yeah, I don't agree with Kristen about that. But he does look like a little boy next to her. She looks like a grown budded woman, and he don't look like he ready. And he also looks like he's not ready as an actor. Because JD is trying to tell him, look, you dealing with this woman, you dealing with this woman, you a certain type of man, and he's not playing that type of man. But we find out that he hates mistreating women, so he's having a hard time as an actor separating himself from his role. And then also we find out that his father behaved in a certain manner that is similar to his character, and so he don't really want to be his daddy in that sense. So he got an issue with that. JD ends up meeting with Jermaine alone, and he's like, pick it up. I believe in you. You can be the leading man, but you have to come across as a superstar. Like, take it and do it, man. Do it, do it, do it. So he say it's messing with his head because because of his father stuff. We're 31 days out till showtime. Opening night is coming. It's so exciting. We see Tandy and Kristen. They're on the street. They're arriving at a dance studio, and they're doing art. Hey, Marlo's Corner. What's up? They're doing Argentine tango, which we find out is street dance or urban dance. I was kind of like, okay, that's interesting. I don't know anything about, that kind of. So anyway, they're rehearsing and all of that, practicing, because there's going to be one scene where the director, he's playing a few roles in the show where the director is going to do a tango with one of the women. So the woman who's playing that character and her understudy, Tandy and Kristen, are there, and they're, rehearsing or whatever. Tandy is meanwhile working on getting Genuine back into the play, not as the leading man, but as one of the roles in the play, the particular role where they do the tango. And JD is like, would Tyler Perry give up Medea? Like, but that's not his main role in the show. But anyway, so that's what's going on with him. He acting like he not here for it, but we know Genuine is coming back. I was surprised he wasn't the leading man, but we know he's coming back. He coming back. Thank y'all for the likes. Okay, so then we see Leah, and she opens the door, the front door to the house that they're all living in, all the actors are living in, and Diamond is there. Diamond is Diva D's daughter, Deatra's daughter. And Leah's like, oh, are you here to see your mom? She's very gracious and sweet with her. And Diamond is like, I'm here to see you. And she's very gracious and sweet with her. And Leah's like, me? And we find out that she hasn't seen that girl since she was 8. How's she recognize her? From Facebook? I mean, because this child is grown. How she know? But she says that Leah says in her interview that D has kept them apart. Diamond and Leah talk, and Diamond is like, my mama doesn't know I'm here, but I want, you and my mom to get along. Is it okay if I go upstairs and get my mom and we all talk together? They chit chat or whatever, we family, we want, this your opportunity, this my mom's opportunity. Let's what we got to do. And so then, Diamond goes up and she gets Diva D. Oh my, that's my baby. She's so excited to see her. And then, the Diva is like, they come downstairs, and when they start talking, the daughter Diamond is like, well, I'm gonna mediate. And I thought that was good for her. I like to see a young woman stepping up, doing the daggone thing. And Diva is like, well, I thought that you and I were developing a relationship, Leah, and then things have just fallen apart. And Leah's like, look, I feel like you're holding on to stuff from a long time ago, from 20 years ago, and you need to give it up and let it go. And then in her interview, she's like, D and my ex were just sleeping together, not dating. So it makes me very curious about, I don't know. It just made me very curious. Like, was he just sleeping with her? Because she, like, how I've heard people say that sometimes some men feel like, oh, they can have sex with the dark-skinned woman, but they don't want to be seen with the dark-skinned woman. They want to be seen with the light-skinned woman because they don't even look like the same type. They might be the same type personality-wise in terms of being theatrical and theater people, but they don't seem like the same type even in their personality. But Diva D seems like she's under a little bit of distress, confidence, and it's something with her that's like not quite settled, not quite stable. So they might have similar personalities and similar styles, and she's an attractive woman, but anyway, I was just kind of like, well, why I don't know. It just, I don't know. Um, Okay, so we have that, but they end up, the two women end up working it out. They like, we gonna be grown women, we gonna be leaders. They laughing and they hug, and then we go on to the next scene. We see Leah, Tandy, and Jermaine. They're going to the laundromat, and Leah tells the Tandy and Jermaine about the mediation with Diamond, and feeling like, me and Diva D have come to a truce, and I'm encouraging you all to give Diva D a chance. And Jermaine is like, I'd rather drink bleach. Like, dang, I mean, it's like that. Why are we hating on Diva D? I like Diva D. Can't we all just like Diva D? And he's like, I would rather drink bleach. And he like, what Diva D is doing is what any smart woman would do. You keep your man's potential. Your ex. What did he say? She's keeping the biatch Leah close, because she's the one who stole her man. And I don't trust Diva D further than I can throw her. And I know I can't pick her big behind up, so I don't trust her. We see Tandy, she's on like a video chat with Genuine, and she's selling him the role of Alex. Like, there's this role. Remember that role, Alex? I think you should come back and play that role. I know you on the road, singing and doing your concerts, but you could do that, blah, 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 blah. And Genuine is like, but we know he coming back. And then we see the cast together again to run lines, and Leah and Diva D are kind of having a kumbaya, like, yes, we're all here to work. We worked it out. We should all work it out. Let's just all get along. And, the people are kind of like, the younger people are like, okay. But, they end up doing it. So we're 28 days out. The cast is heading to the theater, or the producer, something. I don't know what it was. But to me, the theater, they rehearsal space. And Brianna and Taylor are the two daughters of the producer. We find out that director, producer, they've missed a couple days of rehearsal, but they're back. And Kristen is like, the daughters are back. But considering how little they bring to the table, I wish they'd have stayed gone. And then one daughter is like giving a speech like, can't we should just, my father loves you because you're his cast, and we should just all get along. And then she's like, Kristen, I can see on your face that you're upset. And Kristen is like, well, your sister, I'm not saying anything. And then she's like, well, your sister disrespected me and blah, 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 blah. And then by the time the other daughter comes back in, the cast has escalated from being annoyed to basically walking out, and there's like some yelling and screaming before they walk out. But by the time the other daughter comes back in, they're leaving the theater, and the other daughter is like, shoot, I'm glad I wasn't here for this mess, because I guess she was the one who started the mess before. I haven't really figured out which one is which, even though they don't look alike. But so the cast, there's like a cast exodus, and a walkout. But Diva D, she stays, and she's like, let's just say lines, they'll cool down and they'll come back. She's like, this is my comeback, the show must go on. It's so unprofessional to leave rehearsal. And I kind of do agree. And JD is like, well, I'm not going to chase cast members who don't want to rehearse when there's a cast member here who does want to rehearse. So I'm going to work with the one who wants to rehearse. And if it's just the two of us who do the show must go on. That's how it is in the theater. That's how it is in life. The show got to go on. What they say, one monkey don't stop no show. The cast is at the restaurant for the most part. Leah's not there, but the other folks are there, and Dee is at the rehearsal, and they're mad at Dee for not walking out. And Leah joins, and she's like, I'm exhausted. I just want to leave. The issues have become bigger than the job that we were hired to do. And we lost another day of rehearsal, and we're just not ready. And then later on, they're like, well, we were paid to, be actors, not to have somebody talk to us. And I feel like, you've been in a show before, the people are going to talk to you and be blah, blah. It's always some of that kind of mess. So what are you talking about? You don't just come in and act and leave. It's all of that. All of that is part of it. Y'all know the routine. Anyway, we see Deatra arriving at the house, and everybody else in the cast is together. And one person is like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just want to see how Deatra reacts. And they're basically like, why didn't you walk out with us? Stop. One monkey don't stop no show. The rest of the cast is like, we want to see how she reacts or whatever. Why didn't you walk out with us? And she's like, I thought y'all went out to cool off, and then I came back. I mean, y'all never came back, so I was just rehearsing, because I think it's kind of unprofessional to be walking out of a rehearsal. I don't think it's acceptable. And I thought we were all a team, and we had all come together as a team to do whatever we needed to do to make this show happen, to make it to. So y'all walking out, y'all done already broke our agreement. And they're like, you broke our agreement because you didn't walk out. We were supposed to all be one unit. So they're back and forth, arguing again. um they felt that the people were disrespecting them, and that's why they left. D is like, those people ain't even in the show. It's us that got to get this show together. We need our rehearsals. And Leah in her interview is like, she sees both sides, and I see both sides too. And actually, I don't see the side where you walk out. I see the side. I feel like when I'm in a show, the director, the producer, it's like, whether I agree or I don't agree, if they the director and the producer, I just shut up and say, I mean, after I say what I have to say, I'm just like, okay, and then I have to go home and vent. I'm not going to be in no rehearsal walking out or arguing with the director. I mean, unless now if somebody is calling me names or beating me, but I feel like what that child was doing wasn't nothing to, yeah. And then Tandy comes at D, like D has left the room, and then Tandy comes at her, and Tandy is like, "You a fake butted biatch, and they not even feeling you like that." She basically saying that Deatra is trying to like kiss behind and like get on the good side of the director and the producer. And really, I feel like when I'm working with a cast, I need you to shut up and do. I need you to know your lines, and I need you to follow my directions. So I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be like, oh, yes, director, more or less. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, that's basically how it ended. So your husband is cheating on us is back. Yeah, I think that it's a pretty strong cast. I think Jermaine is going to pull it through. I think it's better for Genuine to be in a smaller role. Yeah, I hope Jermaine can pull it through, because he's talented, and it's a mind, because you can be like a little scrawny guy and boss up. But that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the likes, the comments, the subscriptions, all of those things. As we're working on 1,000, working on 1,000. We're working on 1,000 charter subscribers. So thank you for being a part of the dream. Today is the best day ever, and you are the greatest. I'll be back next week for Your Husband is Cheating on Us. I'll be back tomorrow for Queen Sugar. And then tomorrow for Notes on the News. Black love. Peace.